is near. Everywhere that we look and everything that we can think about marks the end of this world. There never was a time in the history of the United States of America that the president goes out to try to visit the heads of all other nations that seem to be somewhat his equal. He is like a criminal who have committed a crime. And he hope for mercy from those who have committed the crime against. We cannot escape our doom when it comes teaching the Holy Quran and the Bible. They show no mercy at all to the black slave. They treated the black slave worse than any human being had ever been treated. They continue to do so in the face of divine judgment. They remind you of a parable of the rich man and the poor man. As long as the rich man enjoys luxury, he cares nothing about luxury for his slave, Lazarus. Then at last the rich man fall into poverty. He was unable to get help even from himself. The Bible says of the poor black slave that none helped them. Now the rich man gets in the place of his one slave. The rich man could witness how it feels to be a poor man. The parable says at last the rich man dies. In hell he lift up his eyes. He saw his slaves and the blossom of Abraham and the heaven that the slave had been promised that he would get into. It was such a beautiful heaven that the poor slave was lolling around in. The rich man cried out to his slave to share hell with him. He asked the slave to bring him a drop of water in hell. He knew that if the slave tried to get to hell with a drop of water, the slave would never get into heaven. The rich man would be happy if he received a drop of water to ease his pain and torment. But the slave could not come to him with a drop of water and go to some other rich man's brother. The rich man knew he was bound to get a taste of the same hell, like the rich man was saying. The rich man said, Father Abraham, if you are not Lazarus, come to me. Then send him to my brothers. In words to say, they are bound to get hell too. So I said to you, the time is not far off. See, this parable is now in the working. I said to you, my black brothers, Lazarus tried to stay in the blossom of Abraham, because no man came to us, as the Bible teaches us. No man came to the poor Lazarus, lost found. No one aided him. I had been begging for help, to borrow money, saying that we will give the extreme interest. No one have come to our aid yet. The white man has tried to prevent everyone who would give us a little help. So Allah God came to help us from ourselves. May Allah God bless us to do His will and bless us to please Him. For Allah God's the only help that we have. I do not care what interest we offer. No one wants to loan us. Top of the morning to my brothers and sisters, the fallen of America. See, they know that we are well worth the loan, but they do not want us to be helped. They figure that we are going too fast, as it is. Oh, rich man, your days have come. Your fall has come, and no one will help you. They do not want to come there. They see the divine destruction licking its tongue about you on all sides. They do not want to get near to you. Cali, we see your, my brothers and sisters, is standing afar and will not come near you. She does not want anything of you. We see your doom. She does not want any herself. Whom to the white slave master in hell he lift up his eyes. See, the worst is yet to come. according to the radio and television, and according to the individual conversation, and according to the conversation heard between the governments and the officials concerning the problem of trying to find a way to peace for their people and a way to find a stoppage of the fall of the money markets and unemployment and a stoppage to the revolutions between the dissatisfied and the dissatisfied, and to find a way to be able to eat and to keep the homeless from eating from his own labor. Pacification is offered, but does not satisfy. Top of the morning. With nation rejecting peace officers. A nation laughing and making mock of you, forever seeking peace and friendship. As it is written, peace is desired more than fine gold. Now, to see all these things come into pass, things that we did not know that we would see. We did not know that we would see such a Goliath, such a giant fall. You see, Goliath had defiled the nation of the earth. You see, Goliath is referring to America. You see, brothers, the sword within and the sword without. You see, trouble seemed to have no end. And with tens of millions of black slaves crying for freedom, justice, and equality. So we see when it comes to the lie who had defiled the nation of the earth to come out and fight with them as Goliath did before Israel. Now nation make mock of that great giant of the earth. We see the sword within and the sword without. See, trouble seemed to have no end. And with tens of millions of free black slaves crying for freedom, justice, and equality from the white slave master. See, the white slave master wanted to deceive the black slave and make promises that the white slave master does not intend to fulfill to free the black slave. You got it. In order to be, see, Jesus was teaching you to be righteous. Be holy in all you do, because it is written, be holy because I am holy. See, God the Father, you need to serve. God the Father, you need to serve. Y'all worship, see, unless y'all see signs and wonders, see, you like the people. Unless you see signs and wonders, you won't believe. What did Jesus? Jesus said, believe in a one to come. But put your trust in God. He said, see, Jesus was telling you that I can't tell it all now. But I could give you the way to the Father. But at the end of the day, a lot of people, they lose out faith. They lose out their starvation because Jesus never did say, worship me. See, Hebrews 5, verse 7. He was very submissive. You know, son though he was, but he was very submissive to the one that can save him from death. Jesus even said, if I glorify myself, my glorify means nothing. But the one who sent me, who I glorify. See, Jesus came to a woman that has 7 demons. And he told her, well, tell my brothers that I'm going ahead to Galilee. And when he says worship, your God, our God. Worship the Father. Worship God. Worship God, man. We sidetracked today because we don't believe in a living God. The God of the author, the God of the finisher, the Alpha and Omega. Come on, man. Worship the Father. We see the sword within, now the sword without. See, trouble seemed to have no end. With tens of millions of free black slaves crying for freedom, justice, and equality from the white slave master. And the white slave master wanted to deceive the black slave and make promises that the white slave master does not intend to fulfill to free the black slave. And with the free black slave thinking that he will eat some crumbs of freedom, justice, and equality from his white slave master, the free black slave will be greatly deceived. The white slave master cannot free himself from his enemy. Not think of this white slave master freeing himself from the consequences of the dissatisfied world. So with the worst yet to come, I said to you, my black brothers and black sisters, fly to our lie and come follow me. There are some intelligent white people who will bear witness with me that the worst is yet to come. Look at Texas. There's a warden at a certain prison house who send the believers Muslims to the temple so that they may listen to the truth, which is a salvation today, to accept the truth. I think that this is a very wise warden. And it's like the general, the Bible says, the general knew that the Arab was wrong and that Elijah was right. The general took 400 of Elijah's followers and hid and fed them with the bread and ordered them from hunger while they was in captivity. I said to you leaders, remember the above says, that is right, but the worst is yet to come. And as the Bible teaches us, a time that will come that have never come before. And that those understood, the heart will be filling them with fear. And the eyes will go away and hold for looking at things that they saw coming on their people, the trouble, the destruction, and the pledge. Look at the earthquakes. They are taking place. Those earthquakes are on their way here. We are feeling the earth shake under our feet across the country. As the Holy Quran prophesies to us, you will hear it coming from a distant place with the vehement, raging, and whirling. America be set all around now with trouble and destruction which have happened. America thought that she was immune to the troubles and destruction which are going on in other nations. Now, the same trouble and destruction that you read of as happening in other countries, other nations, these same troubles and destruction with their evil and gruesome sounds are knocking on the door of America, are knocking on the door of America. To Washington, D.C., a speech of May 29, 1959. The followers are experts from a speech I delivered before a gathering over 10,000 of people at the arena of Washington, D.C., Sunday, May 29, 1959. My people and I are here to fulfill a promise made long ago. I'm here to bring you the truth. I'm here with a solution to the problem and the so-called Nick and his white slave master. You are seeking something. You are seeking an answer to your 400-year-old problem of slavery, servitude, and fifth-class citizenship. I'm here with a solution to that problem. How good it is then for black brothers and our like minds and similar burdens to get together for a spiritual feast. For more than 400 years, you plead for justice, freedom, equality, a decent place, and the sun have let thunderclaps sounding in dark valleys of Lebanon. Yet there have been no answer. Never in history Evil has so many acts for peace, so loud, so long, and receive in return so little, if anything, at all. The church have failed you. Christianity have failed you. We see the governments of America have failed you. You have not received justice from any quarter, as prophesied it. You, my fellow black men, are as sheep amongst wolves, as it expected. Every wolf is taking a bite at you. You approach the Senate, the House, yeah, this White House. You ask for justice, you get injustice. All our prayers have come to nothing because we have persisted out of ignorance. See, we had not known the true God. We had not known who is our brother. We had not known who is our enemy. We had not known who is God. Nor have we known who is the devil. In a nutshell, we had not known the truth about God, the devil, until that truth is made plain to us. Prayer for justice will forever go unanswered. We will be the subject of scorn and laughter. But now it should be ever so clear that the politics will no more solve our problems than it did the difficulties facing Israel during her bondage in Egypt. We have come to the point of extinction. We must now end here and make the reprisal of our way of life if we care anything for ourselves, our life, our people, our race, the future of our property, wife, and children. Justice is a common thing, yet man has sought its meaning and substance since time began. Justice was nothing more than a wish of the strongest members of society. See, Jesus, he created justice with brotherhood. We see William Shakespeare saw it a matter of mercy. I'm here to tell you that the justice is the eventual working out of the will of God as indicated in the fundamental principles of truth. Justice is, see now, God will use to bring judgment upon the world. We see the purpose of his consummation of his coming. Although we are the chosen of God when it comes to justice, the so-called American Negro are the most deprived people on the planet Earth. Have justice prevailed, there will be no need for a day of judgment to come today to plead not to the unjudges of the world, but to that just judge to give the black man, America, justice. And that just judge is Allah, God. We have come to an end of the days of the unjust judges. Even though it may offend some, we must know the truth of it all. The truth hurts the guilty, according to the saying of Jesus. The truth will make us free. The imperative needs is for a clear cut, a definition of that truth that will make us free. We must distinguish between the truth and the false so-called truth that have been handed down to us from generation by our slave masters. We have been falsely taught that the truth was the matter of Jesus' birth and death. It has been taught, and this is also false, that the truth is the revelation of Christianity. Neither of these is the truth. See, neither of these will make you free. The truth to freedom is the knowledge of God, and the devil is truth of yourself, others, and the real religion of God. How mistake you are to assume that Jesus was the final words of truth. Jesus himself admitted he could not tell it all. Yet he promised that God would send one who revealed them, not only revealed it, the ultimate truth, but who will reveal it to the people lying in the mud of ignorance and shame. We, the fools of the world, will be the first to know that truth, not the wise of this world. This is not called for often, but when God says he will reveal his truth to the fools of the world, who is a blessing, not an insult to us. And all this name us his chosen people. Now it is that the problem of the black man in America has set off an air of troubling. throughout the world. Till your problem is solved, there will not be peace for anyone. Today, then, is a new day, drawn in a new world. For the old days and old world have passed away. The new days and the new world, if you please, cannot come into full meaning until justice come to our people. The verdict is not our oppressed or wrong. Much of it is upon us. Time have come when we must speak or die. Our leaders, or so-called leaders, are choked by fear. Such a leader is not worth the salt that lavished his bread. This failure is the root to tell you the truth. Now this truth must come out. You have misunderstood the Bible. Christianity is a white man's religion and it contains no salvation for the black man. For this very reason, the prayers of your preachers to the governments, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost have fallen on deaf ears. Now I ask you, what good is Christianity to you? And to me, if that religion and God of that religion will not defend us against lynching and rape, indeed we will be a fool to believe and trust such a religion and such a God, knowing that he bestows all his blessings upon our enemies. We are taught to look forward to a starvation that does not exist. See, Christianity offers you starvation after death. You must go down into the earth and rot. See, that kind of starvation I don't want. I will not give you 2 cents for it. Any man that will work hard all his life, praying to God, to take and get him a home beyond the grave is a fool. I'm sorry if you think ill of me, but the truth is all I'm going to speak. The black man in America is in a terrible condition. He's blind, confused, wandering about at high noon on Judgment Day. His Judgment Day was not here. Instead, the sun will more hour to come. I will not be bringing you this judgment at this hour. Elijah is here because the day of judgment is here. What a sorry spectacle we make before God in the nation of the world. Here we are upwards of 20 million black Americans who have given their blood, sweat, service for 400 years in the vain hope that one day justice will be ours. When the Cold War sounded, the black soldier stood. The plain of Europe, Asia, Africa, America had been fertilized by his blood. Yet the governments of the nation from which he fought and who caused he died allowed his sons to be lynched and then add salt to the wound by concealing the identity of the lynchers. More, the government seeks out the lynchers and then turn them over to their fellow men who share the lynch cause and motives. Our daughters and wives are lynched before our eyes. See, the government will not put a stop to it. They'll allow the lynchers to lynch you and me if we are charged with attempt to rape one of them. The lynchers live right next door, down the street, up the alley, yet they are not brought to justice. All of this grief you and I must suffer. All these burdens we must bear. It is beyond comprehension that the American government's mistress of the seas, lords of the air, and conqueror of outer space, of the land, and pourers of the deep, bottom of the ocean, is unable to defend us from assault, rape, and murder on the streets of these jungles. Will this same man could deny that it is now time that you and I take counsel amongst ourselves, to the end of finding justice for ourselves? If we continue to accept these injustices, we are nothing but cowards. If we be cowards, then we are to just go home, kill our wife, and then commit suicide. We killed the devil in Germany. We killed his brother for him. We killed our own brothers for him. Yet we are without justice. We had nothing. Sons and daughters are lynched, kicked, beaten, hung up in the sun, and drowned in the river and ponds and lakes. The bodies are found in the streets, on the highways, in the bushes, killed by the very people for whom they have slaved their life out to give comfort. When you stand up and speak your word on behalf of your own people, you are classified as a troublemaker. You are classified as a communist, as a race hater, everything but good. How can you, as a people, ever be anything if you are going to crush out your leaders who try to seek justice for you, even at the cost of their own life? I, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, am classified as a race hater. What race and what teacher in mind that you can classify as race hater? How can the devil say little Elijah Muhammad is teaching race hatred in the face over 400 years of his hatred of you and me? If God have revealed to me the truth of this race of people and yourself, and I tell you of it, and that is the truth, then don't say that I'm teaching race hatred. They say I teach the truth. There's only one thing that I'm teaching today that is hatred. That's the truth of the devil. That truth I don't know. Only God knows the truth of the devil. He has revealed it to me. If that is not the truth, let the devil attack God. It is just that the truth have come to you people without the knowledge of the truth, to deceive and misled by wise, wicked scientists. I am here with the truth from God, am I? And for that truth, I will give my life. I will not hide that truth to the introducement of falsehood. I won't mix it up with falsehood. I said to you, my beloved brothers and sisters of injustice, if you only reflect on what is said from the mouth of Elijah, you're not taken for insult. You're not taken for a race hater. You were taken for a beloved brother, a beloved teacher, a beloved defender of yourself. I'm not before you myself. I have not been sent to myself. My mission is not for me, nor my mission for the devil. I have been sent by Almighty God Allah. A very strong and powerful mission to bring a turning point in the history of the world at large, the black man in particular. The truth will make you free. What is that truth? That will free us. You said we are already free. See, Abraham Lincoln free us. That's not the kind of freedom of which I speak. Abraham Lincoln was not instrumental in trying to free you. Remember, Abraham Lincoln won the United States of America. It didn't want two presidents. It didn't want two governments ruling America. It wanted only one government with one president for all. It was not that they were so full of love for the so-called Lincoln that he wanted to free them from the hands of his brother. But this was a good weapon to bring his brother into submission. His idea of the United States, one president of that United States. So therefore, you were just lucky that you got free from servitude, slavery, at that time. Otherwise, you would probably still have been in servitude, slavery. Today, you say you love Lincoln. You love him because he freed us. I said to you, my beloved brother and sisters, Miss Lincoln was not your brother. He was not your friend anymore than George Washington. Now, we are 100 years up from slavery. Many of you feel proud that you have been schooled. You have a few diplomas and degrees. You can do little things educationally, but that does not get you justice in America. Still suffer injustice with an armful of diplomas and degrees from colleges and universities. Is that not right? If that's not right, I'm willing that you shoot me down, cut me down any way you please to get rid of me if I'm not right. If I'm right, be aware. What we want today is justice. We want the truth. The truth have come to you people. You are not accepting it. Think over it. Here are a few of us who accepted God to be our Lord, who accept Islam to be our religion. No religion as old as God himself, a religion of the prophet of all of the righteous, a religion of freedom, justice, and equality, a religion of universal brotherhood, a religion that our brother will fight and die for his brother, a religion that believes in the laws that was given to Moses an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. Look at Christianity. See, that law is killed. Why? Because the devil did not want you to strike back at him. Therefore, they condemned an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. And that Christian religion, because 20 million so-called niggas might get an eye for an eye. It's nothing but the common law of justice. If you plunk out my eye, I should try to plunk out yours. But you have been made such harm and slave by the teaching and the slavery religion called Christianity, which teach you to love, not to strike back, but to turn the other cheek. It teach you to give freedom to the robber. If you take one coat, then give him the coat also. Help the robbers to rob, enrich the thief. See, that's the kind of religion that you are taught to believe. See, that is God's religion. I said, my friends, it is a slavery teaching. It's against the very nature of you and me to let someone smack us on one side of the cheek and then return another with enough love. I would say cowardice in us, the unsmoked cheek. So you can't do that. It's against the laws of nature. You see, white America can't do it. When America's cheeks is struck by an enemy, she prepare her army to strike back. The Christian governments of America can't do it. See, the Pope of Rome can't do it. If you and I don't wake up to that knowledge and execute the law, an eye for an eye, we might as well be dead and forgotten. It's better for you and me to just go and commit suicide than for an enemy to come in our homes, drag us down and drag our daughters out, beat, lynch, and rape them while we stand by looking. If you and I are deprived of justice, if the federal governments will not punish our murders and our rapists, I said to you, we must get together, find some way to punish them ourselves. In the case of a recent lynching in Mississippi, the government ain't spent a lot of time trying to find a lynched body, show that he had been lynched. It would have been easier to find the murderers than a dead body. According to paper, it is all you and I have to go by. See, the government knows the lynchers, but since finding the lynchers, according to the paper, they have turned the lynchers over to their judges or their own native states and courts, and then they will be free, as all of the other lynchers of our people have been free. We have come to a point where we must find justice for ourselves or commit suicide. What good is your life and my life if we had no protections? If I was a black woman, my man was such cowards that they would not try and defend me. As soon as I had produced it, I would have get a shotgun and kill myself. It's nothing but right. The thing have come to a point of expulsion. I'm your brother. Your hurt is my hurt. Doesn't make any difference with me what religion you are, as long as you are a black man, a member of the darker people. You and I are brothers. Your hurt is my hurt. How many years have you been frightened? Keep your mouth shut. Don't say that. It's not time. When is going to get time for you to speak up for yourself? Cannot blame the government for not giving you anything when you are not asking for anything. The only thing that you are pleading for is a job. Is it not true that John Hawkins, the slave trader of our people, brought you and me here for just the purpose of working for the white man? He didn't bring you here to make you, the white man, equal. It's attaining evidence by now. It was not never intended that you be a full citizen or an office holder in America. Your role was that of a slave. Today, even though for 400 years have elapsed, that intends underlying your role in American body of politics. How patent it's like many of us make as we boast of our education and our attainment, of our measure of our economic growth. See, all these things are illusions. When rightly we viewed it, your education had been designed by the oppressors with the scientific of intent of keeping you in servitude. Your economic growth had been achieved by installment buying, which is now clearly shown to be the backroll about the neck of the black man. Our oppressor own and control everything. We have nothing. Within is the base of our founded and foolish pride. Something must be wrong upstairs. I ask you how, in the name of common sense, can we be satisfied with our role of servitude? And ask the helpless victims of injustice. If we have simple intelligence and love for our fellow man, we must sound alarm and let the world know we are not satisfied. Let's shake off the dead, dumb, blind shackles that have beset us from generation and move towards unity of our kind. This is the truth. The truth hurts. I will speak it or die. I'm not afraid to die for truth, indeed. I did not take this mission to try to save my life. I took the mission to fulfill truth, even at the cost of death. We must unite at all costs. Once united, we must stand fully packed as a wall against injustice. Excuse me. If your brother does not want to unite with you, then you must teach him, coerce him, urge him, persuade him, by all method available until he realizes that he too must give his all on the altar of justice. What if 10 million of us die in the process? The remaining 7 million or more of us will enjoy freedom, justice, and equality. Allah is significant for all our needs. That's why I do not have to beg from their oppressors or march on their capital with my hat in my hand. For how can I, on one hand, preach the doom of their oppressor system, and then, with the other hand, acts of the oppressor? See, Allah is our God. We are His blessed. He has given all the world to us if we would but first give our all to Him. I met with Allah as Moses met with Jehovah. Allah have revealed the truth into me. It's up to you to believe it or let it alone. But this does not negate the fact that I know the end of it all. I know tomorrow I will be happy to tell it to you if you would believe it. I want you to know that the oppressor are exerting every effort to prevent you and me from uniting. They do not want a united Negro. They do not want an Islamic so-called Negro. They know that Islam freed the black man for fear. As a result, it set the oppressor teeth on edge. The power of Islam is best seen when compared to the failure of Christianity. First, Christianity has failed you because it was the religion which first placed you in slavery. Secondly, Christianity has failed you because through its doctrines of turning the other cheeks, it has rendered you incapable of defending yourself in the very hour. Thirdly, Christianity has failed you because it has caused you to forsake the pursuit of justice in this world, the pursuit of this illusory and non-existent justice beyond the grave. Now, my beloved, you are faced with the same problem that beset Moses and the children of Israel during the era of Egyptian captivity. Pharaoh did not want Moses to preach the religion of Jehovah in Egypt because Pharaoh knew such preaching would bring a damnation to his wicked kingdom. So it is that the oppressors did not want you to hear the gospel of the black man. They know that this gospel one day be their undoing. Pharaoh did not want Moses to call the Jews to war to wine at sundown. He knew that once the Jews was united in the name and the religion of their father, they were no longer abide in slavery. Pharaoh did not want Moses to teach the gospel of justice on the side of the grave. He knew that once the Jews determined in their hearts to see justice here, and now they will rise up and demand a place in the sun. So then it is with us. Our oppressors are determined to keep our eyes in the sky while they control the lands on our feet. They are determined to blow us down in unpractical act and turning the other cheek. And the better that they may smack our cheeks and rob our pockets. We must not be deceived by the rush towards integration that have become the theme of the past few years, just as the Romans were. Where are the slave masters bearing integration? Why, I ask you, after 400 years of murder, rape, and slavery, do the oppressors now come waving the olive branch of integration? Is it that they really love us? Is it that they are sincerely sorry for their sins and seek restitution? If they love us, then why was there no evidence of this love in the hearts of their forefathers when they sold our fathers like cattle on the block? If they really seeking to atone, then why do they not offer some measure of restitution, an area of this country we can call to the sons and daughters? They are not come to this very hour because they love us, nor is integration a sign that they are sorry for their sins. The blunt fact is the oppressor see fire coming. They see the handwriting on the wall and know what it means. They will have you believe that the days ahead hold glory for the Christian world. My beloved, I, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who must speak if it kills me, and who will die rather than lie, tell you this. I know tomorrow. I know the end of it all. Tomorrow is not heaven for the Christian world. Tomorrow is hell for the Christian world. You have a blind spot because you have not come to religion of your people. Instead, you are reaping, mourning over the death of Jesus 2,000 years ago. You are going insane over the preaching of Jesus' life and death. Yet you don't reap, mourn, or go insane over the rape, lynching of your own people in your own time. It is a modern disgrace to see you shouting, having spasm in church over the mistake and unction that God gave his only son to save the Christian world. What a shame. What fool God would give his only son to save the devil? What fool people would give their own in a vain hope that one day the devil changed his horn and laid down his pitchfork? See, the religion, that have brought us to the pain of destruction is the way of the oppressors. It is not our faith. It's not natural to us. Even more, the oppressors cannot follow the very religion people teach us. I have no alternative but to tell you that there is no life beyond the grave. There is no justice in the street. Bye. Immorality is now here. We are the blessed of God. We must explore every means to protect ourselves. The message I bring is not for the cowards. Those of you who follow me must be ready to withstand the birth of insult of those come to investigate, deprive, and claim their ultimate aim is to undermine the American way of life. We have no such intentions, and our critics know it. There is nothing under the rug about what I say and teach. The shower over the air in newspapers, on the street corners. Why then should you be intimidated by those who seek only low fear in your hearts and know what we say is right? How ironic it is that the very people who charge us with disturbing the status quo themselves, going around raping, lynching, denying citizens the right to vote, and taking the hall of Congress, call you and me and everything from a beast to a mortal entity. Yet they unite with their own kind. They give aid and comfort to their own kind. They common enemies to nothing. When then is it so long that you and I unite for the same end? If you listen well, you can hear the scream of a nickel in Tallahassee as she finally begged her four white abductors to leave her virtue intact. If you listen a little longer, you can hear the plea of Milwaukee black mother as she begged police to free her 6 and 7-year-old daughter from a white abductor who held them captive and took the carnal liberty with them for over an hour. These acts of carnage must come to an end. To that end, I suggest the following. First, we must discipline our women. If any of them are so blind as to consort with our oppressors, we must take counsel amongst ourselves and with her. We must exert every pressure at our command until she will have returned to a state of loyalty to her own. Much of the defection amongst our women scheme from the fact that they have been coadjured to fall in the oppressive styles when it comes to hair, dress, and clothing. These are the baddest sins caused man to yearn and behalf. If you study the customs and transitions of Islamic countries, you see the proper matter of dress. These are the rules we must lay down and enforce if our women are to receive the respect due them. Of course, it must be realized that the oppressor seeks out our women to debase them. There is no will, love, and affection in his heart for them or us. She but become the tool of his pleasure, the object of his succor. Secondly, we must realize the difference between integration and separation. To integrate with evil is to be destroyed with evil. What we want, indeed, justice for us, is to be set apart. We want and must insist upon an area in this land that we can call home, so we can hold our head with pride and dignity without the continued harassments and indignity of the oppressors. Thirdly, we must realize that the black man in Africa is our brother and our central responsibility with the black man here in the wilderness of North America. For us to spend our energy pleading for the cause of Africa is like a blind man pleading that fellow blind man be given eyes while he continued to stumble in darkness. The solution to all of these problems lies in a clear-cut understanding of the truth. I have come to bring you that truth. Now I spell it out so that even the children amongst you may know the nature of tomorrow. First of all, we must know the truth about God and the devil. We, the black men, are a God. Our oppressor, whoever they may be, are the devil. Their nature is evil. They are incapable of doing good. Secondly, I must tell you the truth about the day of judgment. You have been taught that one day the dead and God shall rise again. We are taking that to mean that people will get up from the graveyard and walk about. That is so much nonsense. properly read, the resurrection means that we, the black men of North America, will rise from a mental death. See, realize who you are. Discover who God is. Name the devil for the beast that he is. And like Joseph goes on to become master in the land wherein once you were a slave. The dawn of a new day. America burdened and trying to protect herself from the attacking nations of the world is tremendous. One that she will not be able to carry. Therefore, she must succumb to the powerful forces that are coming against her. The fall of a nation makes way for another, as the earth continues in all nations, and their civilization are limited upon it, except the original nation, which takes on renewal and changes. Though appearances, America seems steadfast. She is moving towards an ultimate end. One great problem to be solved in the fall of America is the liberation of the so-called American lost and found people of the original black nation are there. They have been here for 4 centuries, mistreated, brought into a state of corruption and shame. They are now being helped, although they are as blind mentally as someone is physically. And all the preparation of divine supreme being and the nation of righteousness to remove the enemy of God and, and the righteous from the earth. The poor so-called American cannot see it. In the South, we saw Reverend Martin King, a graduate theologically, as I'm told, on his knees, begging to divinely condemned people, the right race, for brotherhood. You, the so-called nigger, are too spiritually, mentally blind to see. Your heart is too hard against receiving the truth. Your ears are too thoroughly close to the truth. That God Allah has said, the white race is a race of devils, created to be destroyed. This is truth. It's verified in the Bible and Holy Quran. See, hundreds of thousands of preachers tremble at the thought of even accepting the truth, which to take the followers into the fall of America. This is the problem to be solved. If it is to be solved, then how shall it be solved? What is the best method to use in a solution? Excuse me. It must be a solution that touched not only the enemy, those who cleaved him, while defiling the wrath of Almighty Allah God. Listen, Cupid, said the Holy Quran. Allah God, life to this mentally dead so-called nigga is also made in Cupid. In the Bible, where Ezekiel declared in his vision, the all of the dry bones was resurrected. This does not refer so much to the word, because the word has no effect on the resurrection. It literally took something more effective than a word. When that the prophet was to prophesy to be present war, which will eventually bring harm and suffering to rebellious rejectors of the truth. See, starvation must come to the so-called. Every eye shall be open. The time of the ending of this world is now, and not yet to come, as you so foolishly think. Study your own Bible. It is there. The end is predicted and hint in many places. Daniel and the Bible, however, gives you a better knowledge of it than any other places. And the Holy Quran prophesies exact. Do not expect 10 more years. The fall will be within a few days. So-called Negro must be stripped completely of this white man, way of life, his name, and Christianity. The world of scholars and scientists know that Christianity will not survive. They know Islam the only religion that will survive the destruction of this wicked civilization. Self first. Self first. We, the black people of America, do not think for self first. Failing to think for self first is the greatest mistake we, the poor black people, who are up from servitude, slavery, of the fathers can make. But for the slave master children are first to think for self first is wiser than anything their fathers could hardly dream of. in a day and time. Self first. Over 100 years, we the black people have not learned to think for self first. This is due to the fact that we try to think something for the benefit of the slave master, something to make him smile at the free black slave, trying to win the love of the white slave master had been on the black people's greatest mistake. Now it have become our greatest mistake. To have love for them right ways means the fire of hell. The God is heated, is being heated up for both you who love the devil and the devil too. Do not blame the white slave master for your love and desire for them, above your love and desire for Allah God who loves you, while the white slave master, the devil, does not love you. Devil nature will not let him love you. The white slave master is so full of deceits that he can deceive you and all others. The Bible teaches us. Holy Quran refers to the white slave master, the devil, as the arch deceivers. As deceivers, the devil has no equal. He is the professional, the wisest of all deceivers. So from the slave master preachers, making parents up today, he is the professional and wisest deceivers of all of the civilization of the earth. He have deceived it, all the civilization of the earth. The Bible teach you that he had deceived the whole world. The white slave master, the devil, did not deceive us, the black people in America alone. He had deceived every human being, well, except the angels of heaven. The arch deceiver, the white man, had deceived the reverends that he has made. This is why they will not accept Islam. They're ready to go to hell with the white slave master, the devil. The devil will dishonor them as reverends that the devil has made. In the Bible, John, we see the Revelation sees the preachers and the followers burning in hellfire with the devil, the white slave masters. Now,